Welcome back to part 2 here at Silverstone. This afternoon, the Dunlop Mark II Golf GTI Championships have 2 races. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first.
It's one of those races that was arguably more enjoyable to spectate than compete in, because it was a very slippery surface which greeted the drivers as they set off for the first corner of the 2014 season. They all made it through Copse, just about in one piece for the first time. By the time they arrived at Beckett, the slippery weather was catching more than one of them out. To the disappointment of panel beaters everywhere, they all managed to avoid each other and nobody fell by the wayside. Up front though, it was Tom Witts who took the early advantage in his bright orange car from the bright orange car of Jamie Martin, with James Bark in the black and white machine keeping the pair of them honest. That was going to be a battle that was going to run and run through proceedings, as Adrian Ward found himself sideways in front of the pack at Abbey and was fortunately avoided. The battle between Witts and Martin got to be very intense. On the brakes into Brooklands, Martin tried to squeeze Witts out, which he just about succeeded in doing, and then slithered slightly wide. That enabled Witts to retain the lead for at least the moment, and also gave James Bark the opportunity to close back in onto the tail of the leading duo. One of the beauties of the Dunlop Mark II Golf GTI Championship is that wherever you look, there is always an excellent race to be found. That was the case as Tim Cox headed this gaggle of cars through Woodcote. Josh Johnson and Adam Hartz also in the mix. Adam Hartz on that occasion getting the better of Johnson as he was trying to charge up the order. And not for long, because Johnson was back through and eventually pulled clear to finish in 4th place. The racing was equally intense for the 8-valve runners, and it was Andrew Aldridge who in the early stages came under pressure from Simon Tomlinson. Tomlinson doing all he could to climb up the order. Josh Johnson also had Jason Tingle coming up through the order, and that move was sufficient to give Tingle 3rd place at the flag, although Johnson immediately looked to retaliate into the loop. Tingle is a tough man to repass. Meanwhile, amongst the 8-valve runners, it became the turn of Alex Nuttall to take the fight to Andrew Aldridge. Round 1 went in favour of Aldridge as he was able to withstand the initial pressure from Nuttall. Not for too long, however, as into Village on the brakes, and Nuttall was able to squeeze through. Simon Tomlinson also making this a 3-way scrap for 8-valve honours. Though getting the power down, coming out with the loop into Aintree, looking to immediately repass Alex Nuttall as they accelerated on to the Wellington Straight. The 3 cars could have been covered by a blanket as they sprinted towards the braking zone for Brooklands. It was going to be a battle of bravery on the brakes. Both Nuttall and Aldridge were equally committed. Slithering wide was Alex Nuttall. That was going to give an opportunity for Andrew Aldridge. Nuttall though recovered to have the inside line into Luffield. Aldridge was being pushed along by Simon Tomlinson as the 3 of them sprinted on towards Woodcote. Still side by side for the lead in the 8-valve honours, and it was Aldridge who just had his nose in front as they came onto the start and finish straight. Up front, Jamie Martin had James Bark as an ever-present shadow. Try as hard as Bark did, he couldn't find a way through, so it was Jamie Martin who scored the victory in the first race of the season from Bark and Tingle. The 8-valve battle though went all the way through to the flag as Adrian Ward also looked to join in. He and Alex Nuttall getting very well acquainted with each other into the loop for the final time. Adrian Ward sending those behind, scattering in avoidance. Through it all though, Andrew Aldridge came through to win the class from Alex Nuttall and Simon Tomlinson. It was Martin victorious, Bark 2nd from Jason Tingle, Josh Johnson and Chris Skip a fine 7th for 8-valve winner Andrew Aldridge.
Well, we saw some brilliant battles in race 1, and once again, after his win, Jamie Martin is back up here on pole position with James Bark and Jason Tingle close behind. Ben, over to you.
Thanks, Alexandra. So it is Jamie Martin and James Bark row 1 from Jason Tingle and Josh Johnson. A fine 7th for the first of the 8-valve cars, Andrew Aldridge. And then plenty of quick runners a little bit further back down the order. Dan Gibbs could fly from 15th. As we get ready for the off here, the red lights are on, revs rise, out they go. as the field charged towards Copse the first time. Who's got the jump? Is it the black and white car of Bark, the orange machine of Martin, as they sprint into Copse, and it's Bark and Tingle who both jump clear of Jamie Martin's behind. It's getting very close amongst the 8 valve runners. I think it's Alex Nuttall, it is, who has jumped ahead of Andrew Aldridge as they accelerate out of Copse the first time and into Beckett's, where James Bark puts his nose just in front of that of Jason Tingle and Jamie Martin, and then it's a slight gap back to Josh Johnson in 4th place. Golfs threading their way through, or 2 of them up on 2, 3 or even 2 wheels as they then accelerate out of Chapel Curve and down the Hanger Straight for the first time. James Bark trying to eke clear of Jason Tingle as Jamie Martin looks to the inside of Tingle and is very deep on the brakes here into Stowe Corner as James Bark slithers wide, and Jamie Martin's going to go through here and take the lead of the race. And that was a lovely move from Jamie Martin. He perfectly judged the grip into Stowe, unlike James Bark, who does recover for 2nd just ahead of Jason Tingle. As the pair of them chink through the Vale, then on to Club. That will take them past the wing pits into the very quick Abbey as Josh Johnson runs out a little bit wide. What about the 8 valve runners? It is Alex Nuttall there. He is just ahead of Andrew Aldridge in 2nd place. He has got the blue car of Adrian Ward, though, right on his tail. Beauty of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit for these drivers, they really can plant their right foot and stretch their legs. It's such a quick track, particularly Abbey, which they swoop into now. Simon Tomlinson trying to move clear of the bright red car of Tim Cox. Meanwhile, ahead of the field, Jamie Martin has got James Bark crawling all over his tail. And then we've got this 8 valve scrap as Andrew Aldridge. Still got Adrian Ward asking all the right questions. Corner marker sent flying as the leading trio hurtle through Brooklands, arrive on the limits of adhesion into the never-ending hairpin at Luffield that will propel them then on towards Woodcote. Jamie Martin still being pursued by Bark and Tingle. Then we've got the gap back. Josh Johnson just ahead of Chris Skip. There's Chris, black car, red wheels. And that tussle for 4th and 5th just beginning to build a little bit of daylight. Through Copse Corner once more. James Bark, like Jamie Martin, has been at the front of the Dunlop Mark II Golf GTI Championship for the past few seasons. Very quick and capable driver. Andrew Aldridge having a slightly tougher time this time around. He's dropped to 3rd in class between Adrian Ward and Alex Nuttall. Jamie Martin just beginning to eke clear of James Bark, who's going to have to start consulting his mirrors, because jinking to the inside and going through into 2nd place goes Jason Tingle, and once more it's Stowe Corner that's James Bark's downfall, and he just seems to be misjudging the braking point into Stowe, turning a little bit later than he would have liked, and it cost him the lead the race, and it's cost him 2nd place as well. That said, Bark is arguably quicker than the 2 cars in front of him around much of the rest of the circuit. He's now going to have to start using that to his advantage. Out of Club and along the start and finish straight once more they come, as we jump back to the battle for the lead amongst the 8 valve runners, and it is just Alex Nuttall ahead of Adrian Ward, but for how long? Because Ward pulls alongside Nuttall as the pair of them sprint into the Vale. It's the blue car challenging to the outside of Adrian Ward. There is Alex Nuttall though, who has just about withstood the pressure from Ward. For how long though? Adrian Ward seems to have the pace, and he's now, as they go past the Formula 1 pits, got the inside line for Abbey and goes through. He takes the lead of the class, and that was a really nicely set up move there from Adrian Ward. He started it at Stowe, he finished it at Abbey, and he now takes the lead of the class. What though has Alex Nuttall got by way of response into Village? Not very much, particularly as he rides over the curbs. Jamie Martin though has had an absolutely perfect weekend. He accelerates out of Woodcote, he takes the victory. It's his 2nd win in 2 races in 2014, with Jason Tingle in 2nd and James Bark home in 3rd. And about the 8 valve runners, it is going to be, I think, victory in the class for Adrian Ward, and Alex Nuttall possibly slipping towards the clutches of Andrew Aldridge as the pair of them head over the line. Delight for Ward though, as he opens up his account for 2014. So Martin victorious from Tingle and Bark. Adrian Ward, the first of the 8-valve runners, in 9th, clear of Nuttall. And then Andrew Aldridge completing the 8-valve podium just behind Chris Bagley.
Thank you very much.
It's been a very enjoyable weekend's racing. Now, time to celebrate.
Thank you.
2 wins this weekend. Well done, you.
Yeah, track was not as green as before when the sun came out. A lot faster than before. Yeah, they're chasing very hard. I mean, I had to drive flat out for the whole race.
Alex Nuttall tried desperately hard, didn't he? But couldn't quite.
Well, he's a great driver, and we were neck and neck all the way around. I managed to catch him, and he was understeering badly, and I could see it. So I just waited until he made a big off, forced him onto the wrong line, and then just got past him. And yeah, it's great. It was really good, brilliant race, really clean, excellent.
Well, after the first of 7 stops, the championship standings are as close as you would expect. Alton Park in October feels a long way away. It's going to be a fantastic season.
Well, that is it from us here at Silverstone, and what a brilliant start to the season for the Dunlop VIG Trophy and the Dunlop Mark II Golf GTI Championship. Join us again next time, and we will be at Rockingham.